Hey guys, so today I want to show y'all how to open an LLC from start to finish. I actually have experience doing this for people in the past. I had a little company where I set up LLCs primarily for e-commerce sellers that weren't in the U.S. that needed a United States LLC. So I kind of wanted to talk just really quickly about how to open your own LLC. And let me know in the comments if you need any help, or let me know if you would um, like me to do it for you. Just shoot me an email or send me a message in the comments. But yeah, I just wanted to show y'all how this works. And yeah, it's pretty self explanatory, and it can be really useful if you're trying to start a little business. Even if it's really little, it's very easy to set up depending on your state. So I set up most of mine in Mississippi and Alabama because I'm a registered agent in both Mississippi and Alabama. And I'm sure it varies a little bit by state, but this is a general overview of how to set up an LLC. So, an LLC is a limited liability company, and some of the main benefits are that you basically protect your personal assets. So, if your LLC goes under or if it gets sued, then your company is the one that takes the heat rather than like your own personal belongings. And also, it's very simple. So, and I'll be referring to single member LLCs mainly, but basically, it's a disregarded entity, meaning that like it's a pass through entity, so it goes to your personal income tax. So essentially, your profits are as if you made them yourself. And it's also there's also flexible ownership structure, so you can structure in a variety of different ways, and it's not super hard to change if you need to. So the first step is you want to go to your secretaries of state, so the state in which you're trying to register the LLC. I know Wyoming's a big one because it has better privacy laws, but I believe it's more expensive. Mississippi was one of the cheapest states, which is lucky because I have property in Mississippi, so I was able to be a registered agent there. Um, but essentially, Mississippi is $50 to set it up, and the annual fee, you do have to report it, but there's no cost in Mississippi. And so you want to name it, and at the end of your name, you need to put basically LLC to show that it is an LLC. So whatever your company name is, followed by LLC. So you also want to tie it to an address. So yeah, this is important because you want to make sure that if you list it on anything, it's tied to an address, even if it's not a it's not a physical office. Even it can be your home, even, but you just want to tie it to an address. And once again, that's where I come in and where I help people is that I would use my address as what they could use as their address for their LLC. And that's for a registered agent, which we'll talk about later, and also just for the principal place of business. A lot of people refer to it as a virtual address. So, like what I did for um, non-U.S. residents is that I would put my address as their principal place of business, even though they weren't in the U.S. And I also use my address as the registered agent as well. Yeah. So next is registered agent, and this is basically uh, someone to represent you. But it can be yourself, but it can also be someone else. Like I said, a lot of people who don't own property in the state pay for registered agent. Like I said, I am one in Mississippi and Alabama. So if y'all need that, just let me know. Um, but yes, so registered agent, you just kind of help represent the LLC, and you're on the records. So you can set up managers if you want. They're responsible for the day to day operations, but like I said, mainly I'll be referring to a single member LLC, assuming that you're the only one who wants to run the company. So managers aren't necessary in that case because you're the only founder, so you really have all the roles. So each state has to submit a fee for opening an LLC. Like I said, Mississippi's is only $50. I believe Alabama's was around $150, but you recently you don't have to file an annual report in Alabama, so that was super nice and very convenient. Mississippi, the annual report is free, but you do still have to file it every year. So just make sure you research the state in which you want to start the LLC. But like I said, from what I've found, Mississippi is one of the cheapest um, LLCs in the nation at just $50 and no annual fee. Then you basically wait until they get back to you, and then after that, you go to the IRS and obtain an EIN number for your LLC. So this is equally as important as the LLC. EIN stands for Employee Identification Number, and essentially that's kind of used in conjunction with the LLC. If you want to do certain things, buy certain things, or when you're inputting your LLC into whatever it may be, e-commerce websites, or when you're trying to do contracting services or services for the government or whatever it may be, you're going to want an EIN as well. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward to start an LLC. The main thing is if you don't have an address in that state, you're going to need to hire somebody to basically essentially just give you an address, and then they can also start the LLC for you while they give you the address. But I mean, doing all this is easy. The difficult part is, I guess, getting property or an address that you can use in that state in which you're opening the LLC. And I believe the address, like the physical place of business and the registered agent, it can't be a PO box. I believe it actually has to be a physical address with a location. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for a physical place of business and a registered agent. Just keep in mind that it can't be a PO box. It has to actually be like a street address. And just let me know if you have any questions or need any help. Like I said, I'm a registered agent in Mississippi and Alabama, and I've also done this for both US residents and non US residents. So if you need any help with that, just let me know. And if you want me to do it for you, I can also do that. But just email me or put in the comments with any questions, and I'll be happy to respond and help out in any way that I can. Also, let me know if you want me to do an in-depth tutorial on the Secretary of State website on Mississippi, because like I said, that's where I set up most of my LLCs through. So if you want me to do a step-by-step through that website, just let me know. I'd be happy to do it. And also let me know if you'd want me to do it as if I were doing it for a non-US resident or US resident. Just let me know in the comments.